Hi, this is Joe Jackson. What you see on your screen there is Bob Geldof, the Joe Jackson Interviews Plus, which is available from Smashwords for all ebook readers and from Amazon for Kindle. What I'm about to play is a section, a staggeringly honest admittance by Bob Geldof of the way in which he psychically disassembled after Paul Yeats's death, or as a reaction to a chain of events around that time.
Eventually, when a musical sensibility began to creep back, and that was the last facility because it's so innate, as opposed to a facility like business, which doesn't mean anything.
Came back earlier.
Yes, it's an empirical thing, it's an empirical event. You do a deal or something.
But facility for passion, you had spoken about that already in Mary Claire. Facility for sex?
That wasn't present at all.
Which came back first, music or the facility for passion?
Passion or sex?
Sex.
Sex is a facility.
Yeah.
That came back because...
Were you really incapacitated that core level?
Yeah, utterly.
On the inside?
Yeah, that's exactly correct.
Yeah. So that you didn't feel... Well, you just couldn't function.
I couldn't feel... I don't know if it was in Mary Claire, but I couldn't feel my dick. Literally, if I ask you to tune into your dick, you'd say, oh, there it is, okay. And I would go through this physical checklist. The pain, what was bizarre was, the cliche of the broken heart. I mean, my ribs ached from the pain in my heart. And I had to go to the doctor because I thought I was, having heart attacks or something. And I was trembling, and, Howard was making me eat all right. I wasn't sleeping and I wasn't getting up. And, but I was losing incredible amounts of weight. And so I started freaking out a bit, when I could gather sort of coherent thoughts. And he gave me...
Mentally freaking
yeah. No, to freak out like this to always, what the fuck, it's so weird this,
Yeah.
And I went to the doctor and he gave me beta blockers, but I didn't like what they did, so I went off them after about a month.
What are they? Sorry, I don't understand.
They're supposed, I don't know what they do, and snooker players take them and things too. And I don't know, they're sort of beta blocker thing, I don't know what they're called. Anyway, I took them, but I didn't like the vibe. And then, this feeling was so physical as well, just, it was located in your gut, which is like a metaphysical place, as opposed to your stomach. And I would extract this ball, which was where the pain was, and I'd look at it and put it in my hands, and I'd turn around and say, okay, this is who you are. Okay, I know you now, I understand you, and I'd put it back in there. But it was, all this stuff was physical, and it was like, this is so odd. And so, literally below your waist, including your legs, didn't seem to be there if you were tuning into it. And I just thought that was odd.
How long did that last? 8 months?
No, a long time. But you don't feel...
How do you get out of that? How do you reconnect with your body then? And so
it's a gradual return of facility. And, female friends...
Was it your love, like your buddies and your pajamas with you at trousers and
No, not really.
Is it not your lover and your best friends?
No, she wasn't with me then. I mean, that was a gradual thing over this period.
Okay.
And...
so you got to do it yourself?
Yeah, you do. And but also with them friends, female friends would come along, and how they had me, again, intuitively, like the male thing, they came along and made me feel... I'm not a good-looking person, but they made me feel desirable again. And I knew they were doing it. They came along and said, look, like they absolutely understood that, I felt love would never come to you again, that you were...
You felt that?
Yeah, that you're ugly, you're undesirable, all those things. And they came along and quite literally, they select clothes and say, right, you look a mess, put this on, put that on, and then you're going out and, they get a fancy car and, swan into some, big party, one beautiful girl on each arm, knowing full well the paparazzi go fucking mad. And so the man thing came back. You had to, you felt like shit, and you knew that these lovely women were doing this for you, and yet you felt somehow ridiculously, I understand that, sort of quite up about the fact that these girls, proud sort of as a man thing, that these beautiful women were one on each arm, and also you had to put on the show, you know, and like, you know, I looked like fucking, I looked dreadful, but, you know, I've always looked dreadful, and so there was a kind of, you know, it came good in the end, this looking crap, and that's what they did.
Did the body all start to function then again?
No, what would happen is that some, you know, girlfriends would, you know, they would, you know, start, you know, being tender with you, just touching you.
Caressive.
Yeah, and that felt like an electric shock.
Alright, okay.
You know, I mean, really like that there was...
Just slowly easing you back into something.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly right. And it was
very slowly.
also odd.
Yeah.
You know, not just, I mean, that was the external world happening inside. That's why you talking about those things strikes me as so jarringly inappropriate. You know, because what the record is about is that this, you know, you know, that's what was going on. That was so much more important. So all, you know, there was 6,000 journalists and stuff outside there every day, and I understood that that was their gig, and really, you know, objectively understood that. But it was like that happened elsewhere, because this